With the new release of Evil Dead Burn coming out next month, I've decided to rewatch and review all of the Evil Dead films leading up to the new release. Starting out with the original that started all, the Evil Dead. Before rewatch, I've only seen this movie one time before, and that was around late 2019 or sometime in 2020. So I was a teenager when I first watched this movie. And when I first watched this movie, this is one of the horror classics that I just didn't care for as a teenager. I watched it, thought it was okay, didn't really think about it again. So when I came to rewatch this movie about 6 or 7 years later, I had a better time with this movie. Not only have I seen a lot more horror movies by this time, but I appreciate this movie more, I enjoy this movie more, and I just kind of enjoy the vibe of this movie more. And I also have a bit of a bias towards this movie now because during Texas Frightmare Weekend 2025, 4 out of the 5 of the main cast in this movie were at the convention. So I got to meet them in person. They were all very, very nice. So I do have a bit of a bias towards them. Here, the movie here is the cast. I believe this shot is when they were looking down at the cellar. Comment down below if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what the scene exactly is. Now we talked to him for like a good 10 minutes. He was really, really, really nice to me, and one of the standouts I met that year. He was my Ash Williams signature. I hadn't signed this one because before we were watching all of them, right now, currently this is my favorite of the franchise. So I do have a little bit of bias, I will admit, towards the movie because I had a really good time meeting all of the cast. Now, things I did not appreciate about this movie when I was a teenager. First off, I did not appreciate the practical effects that were used in this movie. Now, there are multiple that I could point out right now, but they still hold up to this day. And when I was watching it, I'm like, oh my god, like these are some really good practical effects. Like, how did I pick up on that when I was younger? It was really solid. And even the deadites of how they actually look, they still hold up today. They still look pretty good. And even there's like one scene though, and this is such a tiny thing, by the way, where I can't believe I can't remember who it was, but it was on their leg, how it kind of grows on their leg. That to me, that is the one I was like, But that's like, okay, that still kind of looks good, but that's one thing that pointed out to me. I'm like, interesting. But other than that, really good practical effect in this movie. I also think the Sam Raimi and how it's shot also works very well for this movie. Even just like the vibe of the cabin and the atmosphere of like the woods and the cabin works very well for me. The gore, solid overall too. And even you do have some slapstick moments too, I will admit, you do, with some moments like that. Now, also, even the cast, I quite enjoy. Now, this does have some bias with the person, admittedly enough, but even when you have moments of where he has to, like, pretty much, like, slice his girlfriend in half, I forgot about that moment. I totally forgot about the moment. Somebody actually, like, got to that moment, I'm like, oh wow, that kind of got to me a little bit. And I didn't even notice those little details, like how when his possessed Scott gets him and he has like bring the necklace, I didn't even notice those tiny details. I'm like, oh, that works for me. I really like those little detail and the attention to detail too, when especially at the end you think he's gonna make it and you just see him getting like kind of like attacked at it. Now obviously he goes on, we know there's sequels, but we're sticking up the original here. That was also really a good way to end it. Another note I will say that I also saw in this movie, and I don't really notice in a lot of horror movies, is when it comes to the cast, I'm just talking about the 5 here, there are 3 girls and 2 boys. And you don't generally see that in horror. So, I mean, yeah, the girls get picked off first, but still, that is something I actually did notice. So they have more girls than guys in the cast, even though they get picked off first. So overall, I had a really good time with this movie. I appreciate a lot more as an adult, especially when you have how it's shot, it works for me. The moments of just like intensity, the acting wise made it good. The solid effects, they work very well even today. Of course you have the legacy behind the movie and what it brings, and even like the legacy of the book and the take when he throws it, even in the fire and the gore. This is a classic for a reason, and will it be my favorite by the end of all this franchise? I don't know. But I'm very excited to revisit all the other movies because I really had a good time this one, and I hope that I can appreciate the other movies just like I appreciate this one. So comment down below what you think of The Evil Dead. Is your favorite, least favorite, do you not care for it? Do you have any other opinions on something that changed over time? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys soon, because next up we are talking about Evil Dead 2. I'll see you guys there.